What if I told you the VA could owe you 100% permanent total disability, even if you don't have an entire medical diagnosis? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's a YouTube scam, right? Well, it's not. It's actually the law. Today's video is going to be kind of different. It's going to be outside my usual top 5 format because I'm so jacked to deliver this information to you that I didn't want to wait an extra minute. I didn't want to wait an extra day to present it because the information that I'm about to deliver and give you could very well change your life. It could put you in that 100 club. Do me a favor as always. Help me help you. If there's ever a day for you to help me help you, then today's that very day. Because this could put you in the 100 club. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. I'm Mr. X. I'm the guy behind the guy, giving you all the information you want to know and need to know about the VA claims process. It's the VA Top 5. Today, I'm breaking down the exact requirements that can get you to 100% permanent total, all thanks to a court case that flipped the VA rulebook on its head. All this comes down to Saunders v. Wilkie. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to qualify, and the VA is not going to like it. Now, if you haven't watched my previous video, that was part 1, this is part 2, that series. Okay, go back and watch that one first. Now, I'm talking about Saunders v. Wilkie. Let's rewind to 2018. A veteran named Saunders took the VA to court. She argued, "I have pain that keeps me from working. Just because you can't see it on an x-ray doesn't mean it's not disabling." And the Federal Circuit agreed. They ruled pain alone can be considered a disability if it causes functional impairment and earning capacity. Translation of that: you don't need an MRI that looks like a horror film to get a rating. If your pain makes you miss work, will limit your mobility, or forces you to adjust your daily life, then the VA has to recognize it. All right, in understanding painful motion, we're going to pull it right out of the VA playbook. Here we are at 38 CFR 4.59 talking about painful motion. I'm not going to read all of this. I am going to read some of the highlighted sections. So, with any form of arthritis, painful motion is an important factor of the disability. The facial expression, wincing, etc., on pressure or manipulation should be carefully noted and definitely related to affected joints. Go down to the next part that's underlined. It is the intention to recognize actually painful, unstable, or malaligned joints due to heel injury as entitled to at least the minimum compensable rating for the joint. Okay, the minimum compensable rating for any joint. Now, outside of the shoulders is 10%. The shoulders is 20%. So, when you go to your exam, or any exam, they should be looking for painful motion, as expressed by the facial expression, wincing, pressure on manipulation, all the information that's detailed here at 38 CFR 4.59. All right, a couple key requirements to show painful motion. You have to prove that there's a functional impairment and that there's a severe impact across multiple body systems. All right, so you have to show exactly how pain limits you. Don't just say my knee hurts. Document how you can't kneel for more than 2 minutes, or how standing at the same feels like running a marathon. Okay, if you have physical therapy notes, include those in the evidence. If there's daily logs that you've written down, then submit those as part of the evidence. Now, if your pain only affects one joint, that's one rating. What if it affects walking, lifting, sleeping, focus? Well, that's multiple ratings right there alone. And all of those could stack up to 100. I'm going to show you how those can stack up to 100. Think of it like pain throwing a party in your body, except nobody's having fun. And the guest list includes insomnia. On top of all this, it includes migraines, includes depression. All of the above is what's going to get you to 100%. All right, so what I've done here is I've broken down every major joint of the upper and the lower extremities. Okay, as you can see, 1 is your cervical spine, 2 is your shoulder, 3 is your left shoulder, followed by your elbows, wrists, and fingers. Now, your fingers, your thumb, your index, and your long finger of each hand, those can each be granted a compensable separate evaluation for each of those. Okay, now your shoulders, the minimum compensable evaluation is a 20 for painful motion. All the rest are at 10. So here alone, there's 13 different conditions you can apply for and be granted based on painful motion alone. If you're a lower body here, there's going to be 21 total. You can see it's 14 through 21. 14 is the lumbar spine, followed by the hips, the knees, the ankles, and the feet. Now, some of these could yield multiple evaluations. For example, your shoulders can have multiple evaluations. Your elbows can have multiple evaluations. Your hips can have up to 3 different evaluations. Your knees can have up to 4 different evaluations, depending on the severity of the symptoms, the diagnoses, all of the above. So what I want to emphasize here is there's 21 different possibilities. Well, I should say more than 21 different possibilities for compensable evaluations to be granted based only on painful motion. You don't need to have a diagnosis for a single one of these conditions. Painful motion alone on each of these 21 conditions puts you in that 100 club. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, I'll put in for all 21 of these conditions, and I'm on my way right to the 100 club. Well, I would say that's partially true, but there's some more that you need to do before we get there. Now, depending on where you're at in the process of separating from service, whether you're still in service and going to be separating here very soon, whether you are recently separated, and whether it's been quite a number of years since you have separated from service, will determine what pathway you need to best take to get service connected for 1, 2, or all of these conditions. All right. So if you're a service member who's looking at what benefits you may be entitled to once you separate from service, this is what I would do. And if there's any doubt, then go take it to your veteran benefits advisor or your transition assistance program counselor. They go by different names. This is what I would do, though. I would file a BDD claim, which means you're going to file it before you leave service, generally 90 days or less, sometimes a little bit more. One thing you can do, you can apply for each of those 21 conditions, all as painful motion of the right hip, painful motion of the right knee, painful motion of the left index finger. Go back to the list, write it down. You can apply for each and every one of those as that. Now, the key to this is you have to get all of your exams completed before you separate from service. The reason why I say it absolutely has to be before you separate from service, because anything that is diagnosed in those exams counts as an occurrence of that injury while in service. It basically guarantees that you're going to get service connected for it, because if there's painful motion shown on that exam, then the minimum compensable evaluation can be granted for that joint. If you get service connected for all 21 that I showed you, that's 100% P&T forever. I'll show you the calculator that proves it. Okay, now that's just talking about the joints. Let's say you don't get service connected and there's not painful motion of a few of those, but those get you close enough. On top of that, there's the hearing loss, there's the tinnitus, migraines, sleep apnea if you have it, mental health. There's all sorts of things to put you over the top. But if your service member is going to separate in less than a year, this is what I would exactly do. Now, if you've been separated from service for quite a while, okay, this one's going to be a little bit trickier, but it could get you closer. It could put you in the 100 club. Not guaranteed on this one. Guaranteed on the BDD. Here we go, though. So you're going to be filing a standard claim. What I would do if I were you, I would review all of your service training records beforehand. See what you're treated for in service. Right knee, right ankle, left knee, left ankle, back. Anything that you can claim painful motion of those 21 joints. Okay, if you're not already service connected for them, then I would apply for service connection for those joints that you're not service connected for, based on painful motion. The question is painful motion. Now, the extra step that you're going to have to do, and you're going to want to do. Now, in a statement with your form, I would document and explain the functional impairment that you have of each joint that you're claiming painful motion of. Talk about how it affects your day, how it affects your life, how it affects your ability to be with your grandkids or to go camping, hunting, fishing, whatever it is you want to do. If that impairs your ability, you sit there and do needlepoint. If you're into crocheting, do that. Describe the functional impairment. Because when they send you for an exam and they request an opinion, if there's painful motion and that painful motion is related or can be related to that incident in service, then you're going to get service connected. There's no guarantees. Obviously, there's no guarantees in life. And these would require opinions from examiners and providers. But based on painful emotion alone, that would yield a separate evaluation for each of those 21 disabilities. All right, I know there's a lot of different VA math calculators out there, but I wanted to show you the one from the VA site itself. Okay, now what I've done is taken all 21 of those disabilities and I've broken it down, starting at the top being with the cervical spine and going down to your feet. As you can see, cervical spine, bilateral shoulders, elbows, wrists, all claimed separately. I wouldn't claim it as bilateral thumb, bilateral wrist. Write it out as painful motion of which joint you're applying for. As you can see, I've broken down the right index finger, the right long finger, and right thumb, followed by left thumb, index finger, and long finger. Going down to the lower spine or lower trunk area, there's your lumbar spine, your bilateral hips, knees, ankles, and bilateral feet. Go down, 100% disabling. Now, I've given you the playbook. I've shown you the pathway of how to get to 100% disabling, right there alone. Now, is it realistic that you get service connected for all 21 of these conditions? Maybe, maybe not. It's not for me to decide. All right? But outside of all 21 of these conditions, there's also all those other conditions that you can apply for that could be related to service that you might already be service connected for. You know, hearing loss, tinnitus, migraines, mental health, sleep apnea, skin conditions. There's numerous other conditions that you could be service connected for. So that if you don't get service connected for one of these conditions, then hopefully you're service connected for another condition, and then that puts you in the 100 club. Either way, this puts you closer to or in that 100 club for that guaranteed. All right, wrapping it up here. Now, the VA might not love this information, but I guarantee your benefits will. All right, if I've shared anything with you today that has inspired you or helped you to know what you should apply for or how you should apply for it, then I'm going to ask for two things. You owe me two things. One, you owe me a thumbs up. And two, drop me a comment and give me a hell yeah. All right? Please subscribe for more no fluff VA claim tips broken down with a little humor and honesty. I'm Mr. X. Thanks for being with me. Hopefully this puts you closer to or in that 100 club. This is the VA Top 5.